Hi friends, good morning. So today I'm going to configure the NAT in our PaloAlto Firewall lab. So I will send the packet from these routers, DMZ zone routers and trust zone routers to internet through the firewall. So for that we have to do the netting on firewall. So in this video I will show you the source NAT. So in source NAT there is a three option. Just a minute, I'm just writing here. Source net going to do today. In source net there is a three option. Option one, that is DIPP, that is dynamic IP and port. In dynamic IP port there is a two option. Option one, interface based address, and another option is translated address. Okay, it's a one option. When you are going to do the source net through the DIPP, you will get the two option to translate it. One option you will get at the interface address, sorry, based no, only interface address. Yeah, so all the packet of your inside packet will be come to the interface, and then whatever IP address will be of the interface, that will be translated with that only. So this one is the another one option, and the another option we can define the some other public IP, and the inside packet will be translated with them. So that is called translated address. So this one is two option. Now the secondary option in S-NAT, that is dynamic NAT. Dynamic IP NAT. Okay, and the third option is static. Okay, so in dynamic you will get option to define the group of public IP. You can define the range of public IP. Suppose that you have a 10 IP of public, 10 number of IP of the public IP. So you can define that all 10 IP in a group, and then your inside packet will be translate with the any of that between that defined IP range, and it will translate. In static IP you will get the option to map 1 to 1, means and in this static IP you will get the option bidirectional also. So for example, whenever suppose that you are you defined one static NAT for this router, okay, so this will be get translate with the one public IP address. But when you want, you will get the option to, when the outside person will hit that public IP, they can also get the response from your this IP inside this particular router. So this option you will get inside only the static NAT, static IP NAT. That is the okay. So I'm just going to do now the lab of these three part of NAT today. All this NAT I will show you one by one. So first of all I'm going to perform the lab DIPP interface address. Okay, just see. So how you will do? First of all, check. You can you can see I'm not able to reach to the internet because of no netting, but I'm able to reach the inside, means I'm able to reach from router 1 to router LAN router 1 or LAN router 2 from DMZ router 2 to LAN router 1 and LAN router 2, and LAN router 1 to DMZ router 1 and DMZ router 2, LAN router 2 to means DMZ to trust zone complete reachability is there, as I defined in the previous video, and you see, and policy I was defined vice versa, both to both DMZ to trust and DMZ to, so it is defined already. So that's why the both are reachable to each other. Fine. Now we need to make the reachability from DMZ zone and trust zone to internet untrust zone. So for that we have to do the NAT. So in this video I am going to show you how you will do with the source NAT. So come. First of all, you have to define the NAT. The NAT. Come. So I'm going to do the source NAT of DIPP based on interface address from DMZ to untrust zone. I have given the name source NAT for DIPP based on interface address. The policy is from DMZ zone to untrust zone. So copy this, give the description also similar. Now define the source zone. What will be your source zone? Your source zone will be the DMZ zone, right? Because I am going to define this policy for the source zone, a DMZ zone to untrust zone. So the source is DMZ zone. So define the source DMZ zone. What will be the destination zone? Destination zone is internet. So it is in the untrust zone. So destination will be untrust zone. What will be the interface for untrust zone? That interface is ETH 1 by 1. So define the interface here, ETH 1 by 1. Okay. Currently I am not going to filter the service. So I am allowing for the all services. Okay. And I am not going to define any specific source address, because if you will be defined any source, specific source, then it will allow for that particular only, not for the entire zone members. So I'm just going to do the all member of that particular zone, and I will show you. I will define the source in next video, in a next net, in a static net. I will show you with the specific source also. So no issue. Okay. Come. Now the part is coming the net. I am going to do the dynamic IP port, DIPP. You can see, as I told you, there is a two option. One is the internet translated address, another is the interface address. So in this video, in this lab, I am going to do with the interface address. So select the interface address. Now it will ask you which interface address. This one, which one is connected with your untrust, right? Because of you want to translate with that IP. What is the IP address here? This one. So, and just do okay. Now my source NAT for the interface address is done. So whenever the DMZ zone member will send the packet to the internet, it will come to the firewall. Here it will get translate with the interface address. So whatever the IP address of the interface will be, it will translate the inside packet with them. Okay, yeah. So it's done for the one zone, DMZ zone. I'm going to make the same with the trust zone also. So there is a two options. You can do the clone. Either you can define that, and then again. So no issue. I'm just defining again. This time I'm going to do S-NAT DIPP interface address with the trust zone to untrust zone. So just change the name. Trust zone to untrust zone. copy, paste here. Now come here. What will be the source? Source will be trust zone. What will be the destination? Destination will be untrust. What will be the interface? This one, right? Not going to filter any service in this. Will do later. So dynamic IP and port. Select the interface address. Done. So NAT policy we defined, that is fine, but now we have to be define the security policy also, because of we define the NAT because I'm going to send a packet on the internet with the public, so that's why it will be done the native part. So that's why I defined here the NAT policy. Now we have to define the security policy also. So come to the security policy, and here I'm going to do in a single policy. I'm going to define the both source, so DMZ and trust both. So just as no issue, I'm just change it name, just DMZ zone 01 and trust zone 01 to untrust zone, right? Okay, fine. Now here what will be the source? Will be the DMZ zone, destination trust zone, both I'm adding here, and destination I'm going to add untrust zone. Not going to filter any service, application, anything. I will do all the things in upcoming videos when I will show you with the filter. Do right, okay. And now just commit. Wait till the commit successful, then we'll do the testing. As of now you can see no reachability for the internet on the all routers. No reachability. No. Wait. Now commit is done successfully. Close it. Come here. First of all we'll do the session. Currently no any active session because of no one is trying to send outside packets, so that's why no any session is created. Now we'll create the session. We'll send the packet, so session will be created and we'll check is it working or not. So currently do one thing, because for the ping session it will be for the 5 seconds only, so we have to see immediate. Just I done, it should be reachable. You can see now, yeah, you can see the session is also created. So what, and we can see the same in GUI also. Come to the monitor session browser, that is the option session browser. Now it's lost, so no issue. I'm just going to again ping, and this time might be the session be, yeah, you can see here. So because the ping session is creating for the only 5 seconds, but when for the telnet you will create, it will be more than 1 hour. So just I'm showing you details like this, right? From what was the zone and port, everything. Destination was what, 8.8.8, Is it? It's just verify. Yes, ping was for the 8.8.8. What was the source? Source is 138.254. Just check. Yeah, source is 138.1254. Right? It is a one way client to source. This one you can see C2S. Right? It is a client to source. Now server. Now server to client. Also will see. This one is our source packet from. Okay. Now second, come to the source to client, server to client, sorry, server to client. So in this you can see from untrust zone. What was the source zone previously? DMZ zone. You just verify. This router is the DMZ zone member. So that's why it is showing you DMZ zone. It was source router was the DMZ zone, source IP was this, destination was this. Okay, every port number, everything is there. User is unknown because of it's a router, so that's why no issue. Now return packet is also okay. Just check from server to client. What was the source? Untrust zone. Yes, it's an untrust zone. What is the source? 8.8.8. Yes, because of I was sent a packet to 8.8.8. So I will get the return also from that only. What is the destination? That is 101.1.1.1. Why? Because your interface is this. When it is came from the 8.8.8, it came on this interface. This interface is a 1.1 and the IP address is 101.1.101. That's why it is a this one, your public IP address. Right? Okay. It was in GUI. Now check. Same thing you will be found here also in CLI. So in CLI, you just see from it's first of all check NS flag. NS means source NAT, or you can say NAT source. That is. So because here the IP is going to change of source. That's why it's a source NAT. Okay. What was the source IP address? The IP address is 172.168.138.254. What was the source zone? That is what G1 DMZ zone 1. Okay. Now, what was the destination? 8.8.8. What was the destination zone? Untrust zone. And it was get translate with 101.1.1.1. Right? Same is here. Now I did for the both zone, right? DMZ zone and trust zone both. So now in this time I'm going to do the check. Is it working for trust zone also or not? So current output is this. You can see. I'm just doing one thing. I'm just expanding so that sorry. Not okay, no issue. Just going to send this time packet from the trust zone. Yeah, you can see it's sent it. Yeah, you can see what was this time. What is the source? Previously it was this 138.254. This time 138.254 of 10 LAN zone, trust zone, 10.168.138.254. Previously it was 172.168.138.254. Okay, what is the trust zone, source zone? That is the trust zone. Packet is translated with 101.1.1.101. Okay, means interface address is only going to translate with that. That destination is 8.8.8 untrust zone, and it is also reached to the 8.8.8. That is fine. So you can see it now. So it is this is a lab of interface based on interface address. Now I'm going to do the same source NAT with the translated address. So this time I will do one thing. I'm going to change the IP address of public IP. So I want to, whenever the packet is go from DMZ zone to internet, it should get translate with the I have a 2 IP of public IP, that it should translate with another IP, and when the packet is come from the trust zone, it should go with the another public IP. So I will define the 2 public IP here. I'm just showing you how. So come to the policy. Now no need to define the separate security policy, because of security policy already I defined DMZ zone and the trust zone to untrust. That's it. Now this time I need to do the changes here only in the NAT policy, because of I'm going to change the NAT. Do one thing, just copy the name, because of who will type this much. So just not required this and not required, you can disable, either you can delete also, no issue. Just create new policy, that is just change the name. Now this time I'm going to do the same IP with the translated address. Okay, translated address, trust zone to untrust zone. No, first going to change from DMZ zone to trust zone. Okay, translate. I am going to do the source NAT for with the DIPP, dynamic IP and port. Based on that, with the translated address, the source will be DMZ zone to untrust zone. Fine, come here. Check. DMZ zone source destination is untrust zone. Interface of the untrust zone is 101. Not going to define any source, not going to filter any services. I'm allowing for the all, any. When you are going to do the netting, for that you are creating the ACL in traditional network. I'm talking about this. So whenever you are going to define the NAT in router, you are just creating the interesting traffic. So I'm just going to do the same here. You are creating access list, then access list number, permit, IP, any. I did the same thing. Just I defined here you got the option of interface, you got the any, not change the anything. I'm allowing for the all. And then you are going to define the IP net inside source list, ACL number, then interface and interface overload. So I have just defined interface, it is a 1 by 1 and the overload. So same thing I'm going to do, but it is going to happen with the GUI. Little bit it's different, only very quite different, not the big different, just need to be relate the thing. Okay, so this time I'm going to do the same dynamic IP and port with the translated address. What will be the translated address? So whenever I'm going to send a packet from DMZ zone, it should translate with the IP 101.1.111. Okay, that's it, done. Now when I'm going to create it same for the trust zone. Well, the trust zone. Okay. And see, this time I'm going to send the packet from trust to untrust. Interface is 1 by 1. Translate it, dynamic IP and port with the translate address, translate IP. Whenever the packet is come from trust to untrust, it should translate with the 10112. Means when the packet will be come from DMZ zone, it will translate with the 111. Whenever the packet will be come from trust, it will translate with the 112. That's it. Just do the commit and after that we'll verify is it working or not, is it correct or not. After commit successful, the same. Yeah, commit is successfully, right? Come here. And now verify the same. When I'm going to check first from DMZ zone to untrust. So this time packet should be translate with this IP address. The IP address is 101.1.111. So come here. Currently you can just you can see no session active, right? Because of after 5 seconds the session is cancelled, cleared, because of all the session was for the ping, right? So that's why now I'm going to create new. First of all, come to the DMZ zone and just see it is ping, it is working, and check. Yeah, it is get translated with 101.1.111. You can see same thing. Verify here in monitoring. Monitor. Oh, it's lost. No issue. We'll send packet once again. You can see it's original. Refresh it. Yeah, just drag it. You can see this time packet is get translate with this 101.1.111, right? Okay, same thing I'm going to verify for the trust. When the packet will go from trust to untrust, it should translate with the 112 as we defined. So come and up, these all logs are for the DMZ zone. Now I'm going to collect the logs for trust zone, then we'll verify. Just come to the trust zone member and send the packet from here. Yeah, it's okay, fine. Now see, you can see when the packet is came from DMZ zone, it was get translate with the 111 101.1.10111. When the packet is came from trust zone, it was get translate with the 101.1.112. Same thing I was defined in the policy, right? Just a minute. Yeah, right. So when the packet should come from DMZ zone to untrust zone, packet should translate with the 101.1.10111. When the packet should come from trust to untrust, it should translate with the 101.1112. Okay. So this was the another way of the DIPP. Now I'm going to create another option of the source NAT, that is, so this till now we done this lab, it's complete. I show you with the interface translate with interface address, and I show you right now just with the translated address. Both means I show you with the both option. Now I'm going to do this one, dynamic IP. So for dynamic IP, I will define one thing. I will just go in for the DMZ zone. I'm just going to define the public IP range is 119. From 101 to 119, it will pick any IP. So for that you have to do like 111 to 101.1.119. This will be range for the DMZ zone. And same for the trust, I'm going to define the range 101.1.120 to 101.1.1.130. That is fine, right? So do one thing, just change it 21 to 30, here 20. Okay, now I will define the range of this, and when the packet will be come from the DMZ zone, they will pick the any IP between the 101.111.111 to 101.1.120. Between the 10 IP, any one IP will be take. Any one. With them, it will be get translated. So, randomly. That's fine. Just come. Now, just going to verify. Is it working or not? So, copy the name. Just make the disable. Now this time I'm going to create another policy. That policy is source NAT. I'm going to do, but this time not the DI. I'm going to do DYNAMICNIC right? Dynamic IP. In dynamic IP, only the option is translated address. Because of you have to define the IP range, so the IP will be the different. So if you want, you can write here the translated address. Either if you want, you can remove it. So no issue. I am just doing one thing. Remove it. Okay. This is the file. Okay. For I'm going to do this time for the DMZ zone. What will be the range? As I defined here in Notepad, it will be 101.1.1.111 to 101.1.120. Right? Come. Source is DMZ zone, destination is untrust zone, interface is this. Fine? Come here. This time I'm going to choose this option, dynamic IP, right? Dynamic IP, fine. See here, no any option, no any choice. It is getting only translated address option, right? Only translated option. Just add here your IP public IP range, that is 101.111 to 101.1.1.120 as we decided here. It is same. You can see this. I'm talking about this here. That's it. Save it. Just this time I'm not going to do the. You have another option. You can clone it. So this time I'm showing you to clone. What should be the name? Okay, just click it. Now click here, remove one, change the name. Because of this is I'm going to do for trust zone to untrust zone. Trust zone to untrust zone, right? Original packet will be come from, just remove it. Trust zone. Rest of thing will be same. Here need to be changed because of now for the trust zone the range is different. That range is 121 to 101.1.130. Right? It's correct now. 101.1.1.121 to 101.1.130. Yeah, fine. It's done now. Now do the commit and verify. It's correct, it's working or not, it's similar or not. So wait for the commit successful. I think it's 2 times. Let's say this. So now you can see commit is successfully done. Now verify the things. Come here. See, no initiation is currently active. So I'm going to send a packet from DMZ zone first. So packet should be translated between the IP address of 111 to 120, 111 to 120, right? Between the any one IP will be take. So I will send the packet from the both router of DMZ zone, so that we'll verify it's taking the different IP or not. Just enter, enter, enter. Now verify here. When the packet is came from 172.168.128.254 from DMZ zone, it picked the IP of public, that is 116. It's coming under the range of 111 to 120. So this router 1 is router 2. Just check. So IP interface brief. The packet is going from this interface of this router, right? Then the public this router is picking the IP of public IP, that is 101.1.116. But when the packet of same zone came from this router, the IP address of, you can see from this interface of this router, that time the public IP, it is take the public IP of 101.1.118. So as I told you, randomly it will pick the any IP of this between the defined range. So it's happening, right? Now come to the next. Verify the same thing from LAN router for the trust zone, because I defined trust, and the defined trust zone range is 121 to 130. Between the any IP should pick. Just enter, enter, enter. You can see when the packet is came from 10.168.128.254, the packet is get translated with the 101.1.1.125. This IP source IP address 10.168.128.254 is available on your router 2, LAN router 2. You can check here. So IP interface brief. The IP address is here on gig 0/1 of 10.168.128.254. Okay, now come. Sorry. When the package came from 10.168.138.254, it get translate with 101.1.123. Means our both conditions are fine. Whatever we defined in the policy, it's working, right? Yeah. So this was the lab of our dynamic IP. Now in source net there is another option, that is static IP. Static IP, that IP also I'm showing you. So in source net, static IP based on a static IP netting is provide you the one feature, that is bidirectional. So I'm just going to show you also. I'm just going to define one policy of based on static net. So for this router, when the router is DMZ zone router 1, the packet will be go to the internet. It will work. It will translate with the IP. I will define the IP with I'm going to define here the packet for DMZ zone RTR01 with the IP. It will be get translate with the 101.1.111. That is fine, noise. And when to untrust, This one will be my source, means client to source server. Now return path will be untrust, zone will be untrust, source will be 8.8.8. it will be come to untrust. Yeah, fine. Yes, okay. So it will be get when will hit the packet of this one, it should get response from DMZ RTR01. Fine. Means one way will be this, return way will be this. This will be the path. Okay, so we'll verify. It should wait. So this time I have to configure this router also, because of I will be check from outside. Means when the packet they want to reach to the internet, it will be translate with the 101.1.1.111. But when the outside member, any outside user want hitting that IP 101.1.111, they should get the reply from the router 1, the DMZ router 1. This facility, this feature you will be get in the static net only. Source net, static IP based, there only. But this feature is very costly. I will explain you how. Because of in this feature you have to be required for the each server, for the each IP you need to be on a separate public IP, and the public IP is not the free, that you have to be purchased. For that you have to pay the cost. You cannot use in that scenario the same public IP for the another router. You cannot use. So that's why it is called one-to-one translate also. Now do one thing, just first of all disable this. Copy it. Going to do the source net based on not DIPP and the interface based on STTIC static IP. I'm going to do this time source net for the based on a static IP from DMZ zone to untrust zone. That is my name. Select source will be DMZ. Okay. What will be the destination? Destination will be untrust. Okay, this one. But this time I have to define. If you will not define, then it will be for the all of the source. That in that scenario, your return path bidirectional will not work. So for that you need to be defined IP also. That is very required. If you want to do the testing of bidirectional also, you mention here. With BI remove this bit. Okay, means I'm going to do the bidirectional also. Okay, fine. So I'm going to define the source. Either you can define here the IP address of this router, either you have the option to create the address and you can call the address here. This time I'm going to do the define IP address. Next time I will show you to create the address. Okay, either you can remove the subnet, no issue, both way you can use that. Fine. Now come to translate. This time just select the static IP. Okay, here you have to define the IP, which IP, with public IP with which they will be translated. So 101.1.111. Now you can see here bidirectional. You need to check this option. Okay, yes, sorry. Come down. See, what is the policy? I defined when the packet is came from DMZ zone to untrust zone. The source will be this person, and here it will get translated with the public IP 101.1.1.1.111. But when the outside any person will hit this IP 101.1.111, then they will be get the response from this router. This is the meaning of this bidirectional. Okay, so now verify. This time okay, DMZ2 and trust already I have defined, right? So I need to be create one path also, right? Wait, because of this policy is defining your source is DMZ zone, that is fine. Destination untouched zone, but where is the return path for the bidirectional testing? For that you have to create the policy one more. Copy it. Just this time my source will be untrust to trust and remove this. Fine. Means this policy I'm going to create source net for the bidirectional testing. Static IP. Okay, fine. You can keep the change the name according to your requirement and understand. What is the source now? According to return path, what will be the source? My source will be, so this person will be hit the packet. So this person is the source. Suppose it is the outside. So what is the source zone? Untrust zone. Select untrust zone. Now source address any, because of in internet any user can hit. If the any specific, then you can define either not required, because of on internet all person are using the internet, so I'm going to use anyone can hit, no issue. Okay, destination. Come to the destination. What will be the destination? Destination address. User don't know what is the IP address of your inside server, or this one is this time router, but it will be might be the server like a Flipkart or any. So you don't know what is the public IP, what is the private IP of that server, right? So that's why User don't know what is the IP address of this. So he is aware about the public IP. That IP is 101.1.111. Fine. Okay. What will be the destination zone? When the packet is hit to this IP, they should get the response from DMZ zone because your router is in DMZ zone. Just do okay. Okay, they are asking the subnet. No issue. Not the subnet, it was the maximum. It was 4 times 1, that's why. Fine. Do the commit and then we'll verify it's working or not. Commit all changes. Just wait. So you can see commit is done. Now verify it's working or not. So first of all come and we will check because of what was my source. This router was my source. So check this router is able to reach the internet or not. Yeah, fine. This router is fine. He can able to reach. But same zone, this another router is the member of same zone. Is he able to reach? Verify. No, because of I was defined the source address, and the source address was the router 1 IP. So that's why router 1 is only able to reach the internet. Okay, so one way verification is done. That is fine. Now just I'm going to configure it. Just very quiet. It will take time. The interface address is gig 0 by 0. IP NAT outside IP address. Either we can define the default route that will also work. That is okay, no issue. That is so very 102 only because of 254 I used on WAN router. Okay, so 102.1.1.102 no shut. Okay, that's fine. One interface is done. Now we need to configure this interface gig 0 by 1. Come to the 0 by 1. It will be the inside interface, right? Inside. That will be the IP address. I defined here the IP address is 192.168.138.254. 168.138. 192.168.138.254. No shut. As I told you how to create the SL access list 100 permit IP any what I did just now on PaloAlto firewall with the GUI. Now create a NAT inside source list 100 interface. Sorry, list is not here. List 100 interface 0 by where it is here. It's already copied. Overload. Done. You can define one IP route because of not required. ACL and netting was not required, but I created for the because of it's a simulator. So sometime, but if it is 0.0.0 102.1.1.254 because of default route is I'm going to do here default routing. That's why yeah, fine, it's done. And router configuration is done. So just verify it. Is it working or not? This is very important. You have to do the routing. That is very important. Ping 8.8.8. Router is going to reach internet or not. First test verify it. Then only okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to power on the okay, it's done. Okay, wait. You can see router is able to reach the internet. Now come here, assign the IP address here. Open. Sorry, change it after setting. Go to Ethernet, properties, IPv4. Use the IP. That is 192.168.138.101. Okay. What will be the gateway? Gateway will be my router IP 192.168.138.254. I'm going to define the DNS, global DNS. That is fine. Just wait, it's identifying. Yes. Close it. You can see it is able to access. Yeah, internet reachability is fine. Now you can see currently this route user can able to access the internet, right? But this user wants to hit that public IP address. We need to identify, is he getting the response from there or not? So hope you remember in previous video I show you I was already enable the telnet here, and here, all four router. HTTP and the telnet configuration is already done in previous video. So this time I'm going to do the testing. I will do the telnet of the public IP, what I defined here. That was the 101.1.111. We'll see, is he getting the response from DMZ router 1 or not? It should. So come. Going to do the telnet of public IP. I already done the no login command, so it will not ask the password. So you can see it's get response. You got the response. You got the telnet of, and the same thing you will be get verify from the PaloAlto. Just so session, you can see session is came from 102.1.1.102. the IP of your this router interface gig 0. From here it came na. Okay, because of I did the netting, you will see here I did the router netting also inside, that's why. Okay, so it came from here 102 zone is untrust zone. Fine. Okay, it hit the IP, that is 101.1.111, got response from DMZ zone 172.168.138.254. That IP address is of this router interface gig 0 by 1 IP address, and the router is got. The user is able to get the telnet of this router. So this is the method, and this is the way of doing the NAT. This part was for the source NAT, but in upcoming next video I will show you the destination. So see, this time I did the static NAT, source NAT with the static IP method for this router only. This router is get translated with the 1011.1.111, but now we cannot use the same 101.1.111 IP for this router or this router, this router. So this IP will be useful for the single router, but in a organization or there will be the lots of servers, so you have to purchase the lots of IP also. That will be very huge costly. Okay, so that's why we have the another option for achieve the same service through the destination NAT. In destination NAT, we will be achieve this thing with the port forwarding. In port forwarding, we can define that whenever, just me going to do down, just sorry, when the user is hit the IP, when the user hit IP 101.1.111 with the port number 23, they should get a response from DMZ RTR 01 telnet service with the port 23. But in same, when the user hit the IP address 1.1. with the port number 80, user should get response from DMZ RTR 02 HTTP service with the port 80. Same when the user hit, I will show you all this in next video, with the port number XYZ different, they will be able to access the XYZ service of the XYZ router. Whatever you want, you can define. So here no need to purchase the public IP. Just change the port number in the policy, it will be work fine. So that's why we are using the destination NAT port forwarding. So thank you. In this video this much. In next video we will cover the destination NAT, complete destination NAT. Thanks for watching.